I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded. In that...
If you don't know who Alex Jones is a right-wing conservative who runs a media company by the name of Infowars. He has a show on Infowars that he names the Alex Jones Show. He uses this platform in particular to sprout out various crazy conspiracy theories. Some of these conspiracy theories we will get in today, and some of the things he has said is beyond crazy. I don't think there's a better word to describe it.
And you've heard state judges come out and say, we know there's a martial law plan for Texas and Lubbock and other areas. This is known. The entire world is rushing towards World War III. It became a call for violence, a call for racial warfare and death. An active attempt to start a bloody civil war.
And other things you could argue have some footing, but he certainly has an effect on the political scene in the States, and he certainly has an effect on the millions and millions of viewers he gets. And it has some real life consequences because of this. Now, Alex Jones does not come across as someone that's highly intelligent, but he is someone that realised at a very young age growing up that he did not trust mainstream media, and he believed that the narrative that mainstream media pushes a lot of the time is false.
So, I just knew how things actually worked versus what the news was saying sometimes.
Or misleading or purposely twisted to not really give the whole truth. Now, you could argue that Alex Jones isn't necessarily wrong with that particular theory, but in his case, he's decided to go an extremely more wacky way where he promotes things that are so outside the box, that are so under-investigated, or you should say, don't have a lot of evidence or data to back up what he says.
Oh, like I'm putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap.
So in today's video, I wanted to talk about Infowars. I want to talk about some of these conspiracy theories and why in particular people love to hate Alex Jones. So the majority of Alex Jones's conspiracy theories and fake news and different ideology that he promotes, the vast majority of it is done through Infowars. Infowars is a media company and website that he created with his wife, well, now ex-wife, back in 1999. We're going to get into certain conspiracy theorist ideas that Alex Jones has sprouted over the years and why they've been harmful. But before we get into that, I want to talk about how Alex Jones makes his money, and it's one of the most disgusting things he does. Like any business, uses his platform to promote brands and products that he sells on his own website. If you look at some of the items he sells, for example, DNA Force Plus, and he also sells like Immune Support Pack, and he also sells Survival Shield. Like, he uses all these very kind of masculine sounding things like Diet Force. Like, if you're a man and you want to lose weight, God damn it, you're going to use Diet Force. And for a very hefty price, it was retailing at $59.95, but a very good price at $35.95. He sells loads and loads of random products, which he promotes himself, which he claims he takes himself, especially any of the supplements that are designed to kind of help the male physique. He claims that some, like for example, the Diet Force one, we'll use that as an example. He claims it supports your body's natural metabolism, it increases your natural energy levels, it supports natural weight loss. One of the big things about this, it came out recently, that he makes an average $800,000, I believe per year, could be per month, on these supplements. Now there's a big asterisk beside all of the products he sells, and these asterisks claim and state that the statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure or prevent any disease. Now that being said, clearly this is not FDA approved stuff, so clearly all of these things he promotes, he has no backing from the scientific community. In August 2017, a Canadian medical company by the name of Labdoor Incorporated did a test on 6 of Jones's dietary supplement products, which included a product by the name of Survival Shield, which only apparently in the end contained iodine. They also looked at a product called Oxy Powder, which comprised of a compound of magnesium oxide and citric acid, which are common ingredients in dietary supplements. They indicated that there's no evidence of prohibited or harmful supplements, but they cast doubt on the claims that these products were making, and asserted that the quantity of the ingredients in certain products would be too low to be effective, claiming that the items aren't harmful, which is fair enough, but also claiming that there's not enough of the ingredients to actually do any work. So basically, if you take Alex Jones's tablets or his supplements, They won't kill you, they won't do you any harm, but they won't do what he is saying they are doing. They'll literally do nothing. You might as well just suck on an ice cube if you're feeling sick, because this is ridiculous. As of March of 12, 2020, he was actually issued a cease and desist letter by the Attorney General of New York because he was claiming that some of his products, including one called Colloidal Silver Toothpaste, was an effective treatment for COVID-19. Now, to use COVID-19 as a way to make money is pretty disgusting when people are dying. But on one hand, to say that the whole thing is a hoax and that the vaccines don't work, but then to try and make money off a product that you know does not fix or help COVID-19, to make money off that, it's pretty despicable and it's pretty disgusting, and I don't think anyone should disagree with me on that. The FDA also did send him a letter in April of the same year warning that they will seize any product and they will fine him if he continues to promote and sell these items, promoting them for curing COVID. Now, of course they don't cure COVID, but of course there's people out there who believe everything Alex Jones says, and they will spend their hard-earned money. They will be manipulated by Alex Jones so he can make his money. There was lead in some of his products. Like, I try to be like kind of partisan here. I try not to let any emotion. I try to just give my opinion, but I also try just to share what I know about Alex Jones. But when you hear about things like this, that he is purposely selling things with lead in them, purposely telling people that things like this will cure them from their COVID, it's disgusting, it's despicable, and at the end of the day, all he is trying to do is make money. I'm sure there'll be people that will somehow disagree with me on this, but I think it's pretty disgusting, and I don't understand why he is continually getting away with making these products. But that's not even the worst of Alex Jones. This is only the tip of the iceberg. So it won't be a surprise to anyone, I hope, at this stage that, of course, Alex Jones is a proud supporter of Donald Trump.
I agree with Trump on that. He agrees with me. Because I've got articles. He's following Alex on coal. He's following Alex on guns. He's following Alex on border.
And in fact, during the 2016 election, as of November 2016, Alex Jones' YouTube channel was receiving over 18 million views per month because of the amount of coverage he was giving on Donald Trump. In fact, there was real life examples of Trump was clearly listening to what Alex Jones was saying because, for example, there was footage of alleged drug smuggling happening across the border from Mexico into the States. Although the footage clearly shows people walking across a river and putting stuff into a car, we don't actually know what they were doing. Now, it could have been drugs, could not have been, but Alex Jones promoted on his show, and within a couple of days, while Donald was campaigning for the presidential election, he states and talks about that specific story.
Big story, it's all over the place now. Guys swimming across and big bags of stuff, it's drugs.
Donald Trump was on Alex Jones' show, and when he won the election, Alex Jones went on to claim that Donald Trump allegedly called Alex to thank him for all the support and help that he gave to his vast audience.
I think my influence on Trump is way, way lower than what MSM has said.
Well, what kind of access do you have?
He's just called sometimes and talked about politics or thanked me, stuff like that. That's it.
Because Alex Jones has a huge audience, you could argue that he has an effect on a big percentage of people, and that his opinion and his promotion of Donald Trump definitely would have had an effect in certain red states. For sure, you could argue that Alex Jones did have an effect and did actually help Donald Trump win the election. Now, obviously, you could argue that there's various different variables that would have caused Donald to win, but I think it's fair to say that Alex Jones certainly had an impact. And of course, during the 2020 election, when Trump went on to lose the second election and to claim that it was all faked, that the results were scam, of course, and that it was rigged, of course, we had good old Alex Jones on his platform telling millions of people that he agreed and that the election was robbed.
The people see you stealing this election. They see you suppressing the population.
Of course, because he loves conspiracies, as always, Alex Jones was peddling exactly what Trump was saying.
People unified in resistance to the New World Order. We have only begun to resist the globalists. We have only begun our fight against their tyranny. They have tried to steal this election in front of everyone. And as I told them 20 years ago, I tell them again, I don't know how all this is going to end, but if they want to fight, they better believe they've got one.
Of course, we all know that Donald Trump is being investigated by the FBI for allegedly keeping over 300 documents that are classified that he should not have had. And again, we have good old Alex Jones coming out and saying that Donald Trump is being attacked and that he should be president and it's all a ruse. Ironically enough, there's a clip which I'll show now that leaked in 2019 where Alex Jones goes on a bit of a rant about Donald Trump.
I'm just going to say it, that I wish I never would have fucking met Trump. I wish it never would have happened. And it's not that the attacks that I've been through. I'm so sick of fucking Donald Trump, man. God, I'm fucking sick of him. And I'm not doing this because it's like I'm kissing his fucking ass, you know? It's just like I'm sick of it.
You have to wonder with Alex, like, does he actually believe a lot what he says, or is he just being controversial and following Trump publicly because he gets his views and he gets him that sweet, sweet dough? Now, there's many, many, many theories, conspiracy theories, I should say, that Alex Jones has promoted over the years. Whether it be about 9/11 or global warming or about COVID-19. But there's one that angers me more than any, and I'm going to try my best not to get too emotional or get too angry about it, because I want it to be as clear-cut as possible, and I just want to say how it happened. But if you're watching the news as of late, as of August of this year, Jones was in court being sued by the family of the Sandy Hook school shooting that occurred back in December 14th, 2012. For those of you that don't know what happened in Sandy Hook, basically it happened on December 14th, 2012 in Newtown, Connecticut, when a 20-year-old Adam Lanza shot and killed 26 people. 20 of the victims were children between the ages of 6 and 7 years old, and the other 6 were adult staff members.
Right here in Newtown, Connecticut, the site today of a mass shooting, and this time gunfire aimed at elementary school children. We're here in front of the Newtown United Methodist Church, where we've watched people gathering all evening long, as tonight the details are still pouring in. There are 27 victims, 20 children, 7 adults. And we've heard all day about the incredible response by teachers inside the school.
He also shot his mother before coming to the school, and it is the 4th worst massacre that's happened in America. What is it that Alex Jones has said? So when this happened initially, Alex Jones went onto his show on Infowars and started promoting the idea that the school massacre was faked, that there was no shooting, that the parents who lost their children were crisis actors, and that the whole thing was a setup designed to promote anti-gun laws.
The official story of Sandy Hook has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. My gut tells me the White House, people controlling the governments were involved in this. So don't ever think the globalists that have hijacked this country wouldn't stage something like this. They kill little kids all day, every day. And it's not our government, it's the globalist. I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're staging it.
That is fucked up in so many ways. Like, it's disgusting. Like, these parents have lost their kids. They've had to see their dead children with bullets in their head. Children the ages of 6 and 7 years old. And Alex Jones has the fucking nerve to go onto his fucking show and promote this bullshit of faking such a disgusting, horrible act that occurred on this day. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off. So this is where it's hard for me to talk about this, because children died because of this. So he promoted this for years and years, over and over again, and he told millions and millions of his followers constantly about this. And it had real world, real life ramifications. These parents were harassed.
Lost my son. I buried my son. I held my son with a bullet hole through his head. Him off in 904. That's when we dropped him off at school with his book bag. Hours later, I was picking him up in a body bag.
You accused them of faking, accused them of not being real parents. Like, you imagine if you lost your child, some asshole shoots your child dead, and you get people coming up to you in the street telling you that you're a crisis actor, telling you that it's fake, telling you that it never happened. Like, the level of anger and pain you're already going through and loss. I don't have children. I don't know what it's like to have children. But if I lost my child and I had people coming up to me accusing me of faking it, Like, I can't even imagine the level of pain that is causing people. There was a woman in Florida who was sentenced to prison for 5 months because she was sending death threats to one of the parents.
A woman was sentenced to 5 months in prison for sending death threats to a Sandy Hook parent. Her defense attorney says she was primarily motivated by InfoWars.
In 2017, Megyn Kelly, who was working for NBC at that time, did a piece on Alex Jones and consistently asked him and explained to him, which we'll show now, and this is what he said.
At that point, and I do think there's some cover-up and some manipulation, that is pretty much what I believe. But then I was also going into devil's advocate, but then we know there's mass shootings and these things happen. So again...
But you're trying to have it all ways, right?
No, I'm not.
If you wrongly went out there and said it was a hoax, that's wrong.
But what I already answered your question was, listeners and other people are covering this. I didn't create that story.
But Alex, the parents, one after the other, devastated. The dead bodies that the coroner autopsied.
And they blocked all that and they won't release any of it?
So Alex couldn't even admit, he wouldn't even take back what he said, and that was back 5 years ago, 2017. He was saying he's playing devil's advocate, there's two sides. He was saying there's still evidence there that suggests it was faked. Even though there's no fucking evidence. Where is the evidence, Alex? On February 20, 2017, the Town Board of Education in Newtown sent Trump a letter begging him to stop Jones and other hoaxes like him, and stating that Jones continues to spread hate and lies.
Parents laughing, and then they walk over to the camera and go, and not just one, but a bunch of parents doing this. Then we see footage of one of the reported fathers of the victims, Robbie Parker, doing classic acting training where he's laughing and joking, and they say, hey, we're live, and he goes, oh.
Now, as of this particular year, August 2022, Jones was in court yet again by parents of Sandy Hook Massacre, who accused Jones of lying and trying to hide evidence and argued that he committed perjury when he denied having sent messages about the Sandy Hook attack. Now, most people probably have watched some of the trial that's happened. Jones claims that at this point that, he was playing devil's advocate, and he was supposed to provide all this discovery evidence of text messages over the last 2 years that had any mention of the Sandy Hook massacre. He and his lawyers provided this and claimed that there wasn't any, but then his lawyers accidentally sent the prosecutors every single message that they had, and the prosecutors were able to go through these messages and see many examples of them talking about Sandy Hook.
I turned the phone over and said, take the stuff off.
Can I have you look in the very bottom below the very bottom left corner? Is that your phone number?
Yes. So you did get my text messages. And it said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Oh.
Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way? Mr. Jones, in discovery, you were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
I mean, if I was mistaken, but you got the messages right there.
Basically, he lied in court, and it was a slam dunk for the prosecutors at that point. And he was also, at that time, going onto a show in between being in the courtroom and saying that the judge and that the juries were all, it was all rigged, and that it was, she was some sort of devil.
Is your allegation that government officials are aiding in pedophilia, child trafficking, and the grooming of children, right?
You mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the Clintons?
Sure, if that's a yes. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And on Thursday, you and InfoWars started connecting those allegations to our judge, didn't you?
No.
In fact, Mr. Jones, you're telling the world not to believe what happens in this courtroom because the judge worked with Child Protective Services, who you say is involved with pedophilia and child trafficking.
And they would play, the prosecutors, it was unreal, the prosecutors would play this footage back to him, and he would try sit there and twist everything around. Thankfully, the jury, after all of this, thankfully the jury were able to find him guilty. As of August 2022, Jones had to pay 45.2 million in punitive damage, and as well as 4.1 million in compensatory damages. There is no defense that anyone can give me as to why Alex Jones thinks it's okay to say these things. He has no evidence. All he has done is cause pain and misery for people who have experienced the worst loss you can experience in your life, is to lose a child, and to have to go through that and then be constantly berated by people because this fat, stupid asshole sits in his little fucking bed of fucking jewels that he's earned from selling supplements that don't fucking work. To sit there and to state that it was fake is disgusting, it's vile, and quite frankly, it's very justified in hating Alex Jones for this. It's very, very justified, and I really hope that more of the parents come out and file lawsuits and look for more money. I hope they take every single penny he has, because his lies and his bullshit have made him millions. And for him to say on the day of the attacks that it was orchestrated is pretty disgusting, and there's a huge loss of life there. I think you should be a bit more respectful of what's going on instead of trying to promote any sort of conspiracy theories, especially at the very beginning when you don't have any fucking clue what's going on yet. Good old Alex Jones, you know. You could tell him the sky is blue and he'll tell you it's green, you know what I mean? And maybe to some people the sky is green, maybe they're colorblind. But God love Alex Jones. One thing I will say about Alex Jones, as disgusting of a vile human being as I think he is entertaining. He does make me laugh sometimes, and I would recommend checking him out on the Joe Rogan podcast. He did a couple of episodes, one in 2017 I believe, one in 2019, and if you watch it and don't take what he says seriously, it's quite entertaining. He's quite a funny guy, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like the other videos, I can't get into every single conspiracy theory that Alex has because the videos would be too long. So you should check out there's some other great YouTube channels that have done some Alex Jones stuff. So I'd recommend checking them out. Or the Megyn Kelly interview he did with NBC 5 years ago, I would recommend checking that out. They give a nice, concise, kind of detailed of other conspiracy theories that I have not mentioned in this video. So what do you guys think? Do you think Alex Jones is someone that deserves to be hated? Do you think he has any sort of valid points in certain theories? And as always, tell me what you think I got wrong. I very much, as always, I'm here to give an opinion, and I'm happy to hear any else's opinion. And I'm only human, and I'm not always going to get everything right. But give me different perspectives, give me different viewpoints. I'm always happy to hear, and I'm always happy to respond to as many people as I can. So please do. And if you do like these kind of videos, please do like the video. And please do subscribe, please do share the videos. And look, if you don't like it, you can always dislike the video. People do, it's okay. I'm not going to be upset. But please do subscribe, please do share. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.